What is happening, guys? It's your boy TC back with another video. So what a crazy game we had with Southampton. We obviously ended up winning 3-2. But of course, as expected, they came to the Emirates to play, and play they did. And they obviously gave us a very, very good game. So let's just talk about the starting 11 actually Arsene Wenger selected on the day. In goal, we had Petr Cech, of course. Hector Bellerin returned right back. Mustafi played as anticipated in the centre of defence, as well as Callum Chambers. At left back, we saw Kolasinac starting the game. In the middle of the park, we saw Elneny playing, as well as Xhaka. Up top, we had Iwobi, Welbeck, as well as Reiss Nelson. So he started a Premier League game. He did put in a decent shift earlier on. He actually won a foul. To me, that foul was actually really, really terrible. I would have thought the ref would have given a card, really, but he was only a few seconds into the game. Of course, we had Aubameyang starting up top, as he's actually cup-tied in the Europa League. So as mentioned, of course, the game started off brightly for Reiss Nelson. He actually picked up a foul, or won a free kick, I should say, early on within the game, and I believe that player should have been booked. Southampton player absolutely clattered into Reiss Nelson, and it looked like a horrible, horrible tackle. How he got away with it, I don't know. Of course, Southampton took the lead very, very early on in the game, and essentially we found ourselves 1-0 down quite early within the first half, and the goal came courtesy of Shane Long, who hadn't scored a game in 47 appearances. So it looks like a lot of people break bad habits against Arsenal, but he obviously ended up scoring. Prior to them scoring that particular goal, the defence looked absolutely shambolic. Failed clearances, a lot of pressure being applied on the goal, and eventually they found their way into the back of the net. So of course, at that particular point as well, Mustafi was actually involved with the first goal itself, and I wasn't really pleased with his decision making, but it didn't really matter. Soon after that, we ended up equalising, and Aubameyang got a goal, and it was a really, really well worked goal. Found himself in the middle of the box, and he just managed to beat the keeper to the ball, and he ended up toe poking it into the back of the net, and we found ourselves on equal terms yet again. So coming from behind, found ourselves in equal terms, as I said, and the score was at 1-1, and we ended up playing the game. Southampton, again, they were certainly applying a lot of pressure within the game. So Southampton was having a lot of success on the left-hand side, our right-hand side, I should say, and eventually we ended up going 2-1 up, and this was courtesy of Danny Welbeck, and it was a well-worked goal. Iwobi was involved within that particular goal as well. I do believe Iwobi had a decent game as well. He was involved within the third goal as well. That ended up being scored by Danny Welbeck, but prior to that, Danny Welbeck had a fantastic, fantastic chance. Jack Wilshere had just come onto the pitch, and we were sort of driving forwards, trying to secure the game, if you like, putting the nail into the coffin. And we found ourselves in the box, and Jack Wilshere just managed to stretch, as it looked like the ball was going to go out of play, but he managed to get there, got the ball into the middle of the box, and if Welbeck had left the ball at that particular point, it certainly would have fallen to Lacazette, who had come on as well, and it would have been a tap-in for the striker. But unfortunately, Danny Welbeck got some sort of contact onto the ball, and the contact wasn't good enough. Surely that should have been a tap-in, and the ball ended up going over. But played on into the game, and eventually we got the winning goal. At that point, Southampton had brought on Charlie Austin, who had started the game on the bench, and as soon as he came on, his first touch, he'd managed to get a goal. So essentially, we were looking at a draw. I had initially predicted a draw in my match preview, but eventually we came up with the goods. Danny Welbeck scored a header from the back post, and that was a cross from Iwobi as well. So brilliant, brilliant game from Iwobi, I believe, today. Worked really hard. Had a couple of shots here and there, a couple of shots that were testing the keeper as well. But Danny Welbeck got the goal at the back post, and eventually we were winning 3-2. There was a few events as well in the game where Elneny ended up getting sent off. It was a very, very cheap red card, in my opinion. Steve Stevens as well, the Southampton player, was sort of instigating an incident, and eventually both players were sent off. Jack Wilshere picked up a yellow as well for a little fracas he had within the game as well, and he ended up quite terribly, really, I should say. Got sour towards the end, but of course we know Southampton are fighting for their lives within the Premier League, and they wanted to get something out of the game. So as mentioned as well within my match preview, I did say that I'd love to see a bit more from Danny Welbeck, as well as the fact that today he came out, proved himself, didn't put his head down when he missed that glorious chance. He ended up producing the goods for the team, played absolutely well, was running into channels, etc., doing what is required of him in terms of actually contributing to the team. But fantastic result for the team. We are now 3 points behind Chelsea in 5th, so I do believe we may end up catching Chelsea. They drew with West Ham today, so eventually I reckon we will end up finishing 5th, but the season's over pretty much for us Arsenal fans. Of course, we still have to play within the Europa League, but in terms of the Premier League, the season's over for us. We may essentially end up just fighting for 5th with Chelsea, but excellent result, very good result moving forward. So as usual, guys, please do let me know what you think in the comments below. If you are watching this video and you're not subscribed to the channel, please do make sure that you do hit that subscribe button. So once again, guys, it's your boy TC from I'm Gonna Talk TV, and I'm out.